Okay. Hello, and welcome to the Wyoming State Library. Thank you for joining me today for resources from the Wyoming State Library. Today I'm going to walk you through some resources that are available for free, whether you're a library staff member, a member of the public, a resident of Wyoming, or a state employee. Everything here at the State Library is freely available to anybody in Wyoming. Um, just a note before we do get started, this is being recorded and will be available in our webinar archive as well as on the YouTube Wyoming State Library channel. If you have registered, a link will be sent to you. If you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat, or there will be time at the end to ask some questions. And with that, I'll go ahead and get started. Okay. So the Wyoming State Library, if you go to the homepage, you will find the doorway to the majority of the resources available. Because we're talking about webinars and being able to find recordings, I'm just going to go ahead and show you on the homepage. When you get there, you will see upcoming webinars. We do try to have webinars about once a month. This is going to be a short but sweet and hard to beat webinar about our resources because there have been webinars about individual resources, and we will continue to have webinars about the individual resources. So you can find more specific information in each of these webinars. So if you go down a little bit on the home page, you will find a box that says WSL Webinars. And if you click on that, you will see, again, upcoming webinars, featured webinars, but also recordings of all of the past webinars that we've had. And as you can see, we've done a webinar recently in December on Wyoming legislation. We've done a webinar recently on genealogy basics with staff from our local Laramie County Public Library here in Cheyenne. We've also had webinars about Wyoming places and trademarks, as well as some AI and some other webinars with organizations around the state. So feel free to look around there. Also, our Wyoming State Library YouTube channel will give you access to our recorded webinars, and you can find playlists. So we have AI in libraries. We've done about 3 webinars on AI within the last year. Also, one of our playlists is school libraries. We have trustee trouble. If you're a trustee or you have a trustee in your life who would like a little bit of guidance on their role in libraries. So you can feel free to look around there. We also have some shorts from various libraries around Wyoming, which are fun, and you can see what's happening in other libraries. Going back to other resources that we have, one of our most vital resources and one that connects everybody, all of our libraries in Wyoming, is the WILD Network. And under services, if you go to WILD Network, you'll see some information about them, as well as support. This is a consortium of over 100 libraries around Wyoming. And through that consortium, we have access to a statewide library catalog called Wildcat, where you can access and find out about resources that are held in all of the participating libraries. You can also use interlibrary loan to get those resources delivered to your hometown at your local public library and access that just with your library card. That is something that we're very proud of. And again, it is run by a board of librarians from around the state, and they help keep that functioning as well as our WILD office. And if you have any issues with the Wildcat or the WILD network, there is a support portal as well as some phone numbers that you can access. There is also a fun thing that I almost forgot to share, but there's a mobile app that you can download on your Apple phone or your Android device to give you quick access to the Wildcat and make it easy to find resources when you're on the go. And again, you can ILL, interlibrary loan, any of these resources. Something else that we offer are statistics. And we have public library statistics as well as school library statistics. And if you scroll down a little on our Wyoming Librarians page, you can go to statistics. There are reports that have been made, and you can find tables and graphs, but you can find anything on staffing, budgets, collections. If you'd like to compare how your library is doing compared to other counties in Wyoming, or if you're just looking for some patterns in your own library throughout the years. School libraries offers the same. Unlike public libraries, school libraries are not mandated to do public library surveys, so participation varies from year to year, but it is always a good snapshot of what is happening in the school library environment here in Wyoming. And for the most part, it's an annual survey. COVID hit kind of hard as it did everybody, so we don't have anything through some of those years. Another important resource that we have from the Wyoming State Library is central acquisitions. And this is a way for public and academic libraries to put money into an account here at the Wyoming State Library. And it offers discounts for collection development because orders are placed in bulk through the account. It allows up to 40% savings in your materials orders, as well as library materials and services. This is something that we have done for several years, and it has been a very important resource to libraries to help them save money and be able to acquire more for their collections than otherwise would be able to do. And of course, we do have our reference librarians that are available, and we are here for reference services. If you have questions or need consulting, we have youth service consultants, we have school library consultants, we have a bibliographic librarian on staff, interlibrary loan technician, and marketing people. So if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or email us and we can help you. But I'm not ending this webinar. That was just a highlight that we have reference staff available. So that is one of the services that we offer, and you can find that under Ask a Librarian. So I'm going to move along to collections. We have a variety of collections available, and one of our highlighted collections is our digital collection suite, which covers the gamut of Wyoming history. And if you go to the digital collection suite and scroll down, you will see boxes that contain entryways to each of our databases that highlight the historical Wyoming collections. We have our Wyoming Newspapers Project with over 4 million pages of historic newspapers. The first one, it starts in 1849. And we are now collaborating with the University of Wyoming on the newspaper project. But those are free to access, and particular individual webinars will be happening and have happened about each of these collections. So more details can be found in those webinars. We also have Wyoming Places, and if you click on that, you can see that there's also 3 wonderful digital exhibits, including the Hart Mountain World War II Internment Camp exhibit. We have a Statehood Celebration exhibit and Wyoming Prisoner of War Camps exhibit, just for information and fascinating looks into each of these periods of time. And in the Wyoming Places database, you can find the origin of the state's name, as well as the origin of a lot of names of cities and towns around Wyoming. And there is a map that you can access and just search for fun facts and interesting facts about places in Wyoming. This is a database that you can definitely go down several rabbit holes, but it's extremely interesting and fun to look through. So I encourage you to look through there at some point, even if it's just to get an idea of what it's about. We have a Wyoming, excuse me, a Wyoming publications database, and here you can find state publications as well as federal publications that have anything to do with Wyoming. And that can include budget requests and executive orders. And these are all digitized publications, but here at the Wyoming State Library, we also have physical copies of these publications, as well as more that have not yet been digitized. There is a Wyoming legislation database, and here you can find legislation that has happened in Wyoming. You can find audio and video of the legislation that's more current, and past legislation. And that's something to, if you're interested, particularly with the Wyoming legislative session coming up this month, next week actually it starts. We also have Wyoming inventors, and we have, oh, that is my signal that I need to move on to the next collection. But I'm trying to be more time aware and manage my time better. But we have Wyoming inventors, and here you can find inventors that are from Wyoming, as well as their inventions, which going back to the 1800s are very interesting indeed. We also have Wyoming trademarks, and this has items dating back to 1906, and it showcases names, logos, and world marks that are registered to Wyoming citizens and business owners. And it does include Steamboat, our most popular trademarked logo from the University of Wyoming, and that is pretty synonymous with Wyoming itself. So that is our Wyoming Digital Collection Suite. One of the other collections that we have available is Go Wild, and this is a platform of databases that cover research for kids through higher education and the general research needs of any citizen in Wyoming. It covers, we have resources for test and skills preparation, so testing and career prep. And this includes LinkedIn Learning, what used to be lynda.com. We have LinkedIn Learning that covers a lot of soft skills. There's courses for computers, for leadership. There's courses for recreational and hobby type materials like Photoshop. There's photography, graphic design, a lot of different courses that you can take and get certificates, which you can then link to your LinkedIn account. And so this is a very valuable resource. State employees are able to use this for their own continuing education to maintain their credits for their workplace. And even some courses on AI, artificial intelligence, and cybersecurity, both very important in today's workplace. There's also Mometrics, and this offers test prep for the ACT if you have a senior, a junior, or a senior in high school. It also offers career development and college entrance exams and interview tips, resume prep, and more. So feel free to check that out. Go Wild also offers, we have early literacy resources such as Bookflix and Tumblebook Library. And we have Britannica, as well as business resources. And we have genealogy resources as well. And these are in library use only, but if you're interested in finding out more about your roots, there is Ancestry Library and Heritage Quest online. Another, probably one of our most popular resources here is Libby, where you can check out ebooks, e-audiobooks, and e-magazines. And all of this, again, I want to reiterate that all of these resources, including Libby, are available free with your library card and PIN. And if you're not sure of your PIN, contact your local public library and find that out. But all of these are free to everyone in Wyoming. So that is just a hint of what we have available in our Go Wild collection. Again, there are hundreds of databases available to you for free. So whatever your needs are, even if you want to learn a new language, feel free to check that out. I'm going to go back to our Wyoming State Library homepage and share a little bit about our professional collection that we have available as well. And if you go down to publications and down to library science materials, if you are a library staff member or if you're working on a library credential or your master's in library science, there are materials that you can check out using your library card and our interlibrary loan service through the Wild Network. You can search Wildcat titles, but also you can find featured publications in the library science collection, recommended publications. And these are, we do get new materials each month. But these all have to do with running a library or working in a library or managing collections, everything to do with libraries, including programming and school libraries and school library standards. So that's a lot of what we have for the professional collection. If you're in or near Cheyenne, feel free to stop in and you can peruse the collection at your leisure. Again, you can check these out here or through interlibrary loan with your library card. So our next thing, I'm going to move on from collections. We've covered some services offered, we've covered some collections, and now I'm going to talk about community. And community is very important in Wyoming. As spread out as we are, we do have a very close-knit community. One of the things that makes it easier to be a part of the community is our Outrider newsletter. And anybody can sign up for this. It's free and it will be delivered to your inbox on a monthly basis. But the Outrider shares information about things that are going on in our Wyoming library ecosystem, including people who are retiring, people who have just started somewhere in the library, as well as news having to do with grants, school libraries, projects that are happening around Wyoming in our library communities, and programs that you can sign up for, and a fun snapshot day. Come October, we have Snapshot Day. But the newsletters are available for free. You can find out more about them. You can submit information if you'd like it included in the Outrider. We also have a blog. Our library news features information again daily throughout the month, and you can come here and find out more information and find out what's happened in the past as well. So something else, we have a libraries directory. If you are looking for contacts in different libraries around Wyoming, you can find out more about our libraries or look for staff in our libraries if you want to connect with any of our librarians and library staff around Wyoming. And there are buttons here if you are just curious to see what libraries exist in which districts or which counties. You can find out more and find phone numbers. And finally, with our community, we have the library job board. And here are job openings around the state if you're interested in a job, or if you have an opening and you would like to post a job opening, definitely give us a call and we can get those posted. And this is where anybody can go to find job openings. Maybe someone's looking to move across the state or looking to get into the library field. There's also a link to other websites that offer job listings in library areas. So we definitely try to keep you connected with the library community throughout Wyoming and beyond. So again, this is just some of our most popular resources. Keep an eye out for webinars that will be coming or webinars that have already happened on some of these resources. And if you have any specific questions or comments, definitely don't hesitate to let me know. If there are any questions, feel free to pop it in the chat box or unmute yourself and you can ask a question. And with that, I am going to go ahead and wrap up. But just a reminder, this is being recorded. And you can find this again in the webinar archive or the Wyoming State Library YouTube channel. And I'll give you some contact information here if you would like to contact me. I'm here at the Wyoming State Library. I am Paige Bredenkamp, EResources and School Library Consultant here at the Wyoming State Library. I want to thank you all for joining me, and I hope to hear from you soon. And I hope, if nothing else, you are a little more familiar with what we offer here at the Wyoming State Library.